I want to thank everybody for coming this morning for the fourth joint endorsement interview for the endorsements of Veterans in Politics International, Nevada Democrat Veterans and Military Family Caucus, Nevada Veterans Association, and the Armed Forces Chamber PAC. Our moderator for this morning/afternoon will be Patrick Bolin, University Board of Regent, District 5. I want to thank all the candidates for their attendance today and also the panel members. I also want to give a special thanks to our sponsors. The Foreign Exchange, Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate, Carl Cartiarta? Catarata, sorry. Thank you, guys. Clark County School District A candidate, Ron Quince, U.S. Congressional District number 1 candidate. And also, I want to thank Barbie's Goodies, Vegas, for the donuts this morning. And as well, please don't forget about our silent auction. At this time, can everybody please rise? And we'll have Pastor Philip Washington give our invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Robert Olson, Nevada State Assembly District 17 candidate. Thank you.
Precious God, we're gathered here in this meeting, God, that you would endorse the hearts and minds of those that are running for civic office. We pray, God, that your wisdom, God, will be able to dispense and discern, and that the people that are running, God, will be viable candidates. We grace your presence and ask that you give us the wisdom and understanding to judge in righteousness and the hearing understanding, that each candidate would have great opportunity to express and to explain their vision and their platform. In your precious name we pray. Thank God. Amen and amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everybody can be seated. Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our moderator. Mr. Patrick, can you just give a brief overview and explain the interview process to the candidates, please?
Thank you, sir. My name's Patrick Boylan, and currently I'm an elected regent. It's an honor to be doing this, meeting all the candidates, and I'll explain the process. I'll keep this short and sweet like myself. The first thing, of course, is the panel members will introduce themselves by giving their name and position and the organization they represent. Number 2, then each candidate will be given 1 minute to introduce themselves and asked to explain why they are running and seeking our endorsements. Number 3, candidates, please remember this is an interview, not a debate. So when asked a question from a panel member, you will direct your answer to the panel members only. When you receive a question from a panel member, you will be given 1 minute to answer their question. This is the part that I like. It reminds me of soccer. Andre will be the timekeeper. Once you receive the yellow card, you will be given 15 seconds to wrap up. Once you're given the red card, Jim there, the bad guy, will cut you off. Number 6, the candidates will then be given up to 1 minute for a response. Thank you so much.
First off, again, thank you, candidates. Really appreciate you coming in. So what we'll do is we'll start from the left to the right. You'll be given 1 minute to introduce yourself and why you're seeking our endorsement. And my name is Jim Jonas. I'm Director of Veterans of Politics. Sorry, too much coffee this morning. The panel members, let's introduce ourselves.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Kylie Tuckett. I am a member of Veteran in Politics.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Joaquin. I'm a member of Armed Forces Chamber.
Thanks for being here. Matthew DeFalco, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus.
Hi, Barbara Lucian, representing Veterans in Politics.
Good morning. Steve Horner, and I also am a member of the Nevada Veterans and Military Families Caucus.
Good morning, Barbara Dreyer, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus, and I think my microphone is stuck.
Michelee, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus.
Okay, candidates, it's your turn. I apologize. Sometimes we got to work out some kinks first thing in the morning. So, Michelle, if you go ahead and start.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me and giving us this platform. My name is Shelly Cruz Crawford. I am running for Senate District 1, which is in North Las Vegas, west of Craig, in between Decatur all the way up to Nellis. So we have a lot of veterans and actually active duty in that area. I am a school principal just up the street from here, where I've led the school for the last 9 years. And it's a unique school because it's the only dual language school, elementary school within CCSD. That means my kids go one day in English, one day in Spanish, and looking at expanding that to several other schools in the coming years. I'm a pilot school. I am also in the Nevada National Guard. I'm in the Air Force. I am the Equal Opportunity Officer, and I am running for Senate because I am obsessed with providing opportunity for everybody in the state of Nevada. I grew up in foster care, and I want everybody to have the same opportunities that I've had, so that so everybody can have access to education and a good quality of life.
Thank you.
Good morning, and I'd like to thank you for inviting me to speak with you. My name is Patricia Brinkley. I'm running for SD1, which is in North Las Vegas. The southern boundary is Craig. The western boundary goes up to Valley, and then it zigzags up past the 215, which is the northern valley. Which is the northern border, and Nellis Air Force is the eastern boundary. Well, first of all, I'm a Christian. I am an adult human female. I'm a wife, mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, cousin, friend, and a concerned citizen. I'm concerned about North Las Vegas. In my opinion, it has been neglected for far too long. My vision is to improve the educational opportunities for all students that reside in North Las Vegas and increase the public safety, because a lot of people are not feeling safe in their communities at this time. Again, Patricia Simmons for SD1.
Thank you. Jim Jonas, Director of Veterans and Politics International. I'll start with the first question. Based on the last census data, you'll represent approximately 128,000 constituents. Approximately 5,120 of them are either current vets or on active duty living below the poverty line, which has been defined by the Production Management Group at the federal level in Washington, D.C., earning under $13,800 per year, and that includes government assistance. What is your plan to fix this without increasing taxes at all? I'll start from the right and go to the left.
I believe that our veterans deserve to have the respect that they earn by serving their country. And I am very dismayed to see so many veterans who are homeless or living below the poverty level. So in order to try to improve this, I believe at one point that we used to give veterans preferences for applying for jobs. So I believe if we can reenact that policy to help them find employment, which will help get them off the street. Another thing is education. Maybe a lot of them need to go back to school to get training and experience in a career that will help them help them improve their financial situation. The veterans are a main part of our community, and we should do all that we can to help ensure that they're living at a proper level of experience and proper level of human. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous here. I believe that we should improve their situation. Thank you.
Yes, Shelly Cruz Crawford. I actually work in this space quite a bit. I have been knocking a lot of doors. I hit 40 doors myself with a goal of 4,000 face-to-face. And as a school principal, I really am a social worker for our community. And as I work with veterans, there are so many resources out there, but they are not connected to the resources. So we need to make sure that we're providing outreach and we're reaching out to our community and connecting them to their resource. A lot of them are not collecting on their disability. A lot of them don't even have their license. And so getting them those basic needs need to be stabilized, right? They need home, house, healthcare. Once those are stabilized, I do believe that's a great idea with workforce development and training. I actually I actually work with a committee that's called Heroes to Educators. Hiring veterans to work in schools is a great career because we never have classroom management issues when we hire a veteran. And so that's one of the workforce training boards that I sit on, and I would love to scale that out. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, Matthew DeFalco again. In 2019, Nevada opened up the Northern Nevada Veterans Home. Many veterans, including people on this panel, raised alarm bells when the state decided to privatize the facility. In April 2022, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, issued 37 health citations to the home, nearly 5 times the national average and 3 times the average for Nevada facilities inspected by CMS. The home received a 2 out of 5 star rating from CMS because of health inspection failures, including several for deficiencies in quality of life, infection control, and pharmacy service. In contrast, the Veterans Home in Southern Nevada, which is run by the state and has not been privatized, is rated 5 stars. Given the series of disasters at the Northern Nevada Veterans Home, what is your stance on changing the privatization of the facility to ensure the safety and well-being of our veterans in the future? Maybe we start with Shelly this time.
I'm good at taking turns. Shelly Cruz Crawford. Yes, I've seen these horror stories happen, not just with veterans, but retirement homes as well. And in regard to privatization, I don't know exactly with that specific instance, but I think we need policies in place so that after they get a certain amount of violations, they do get taken over by the state. One of the biggest issues are that we don't have enough healthcare workers to man state or private facilities. I passed a bill last session that is going to scale this next session, a Go Ed bill, to create a mental health counselor and nurse pathway in every single high school in the state of Nevada, where the students get trained and go to college for free within the state as long as they get 5 years of service to help bridge that gap. So I'd look at it on the healthcare needs side. Perhaps the privatization is failing because they don't have adequately trained healthcare workers. So I would attack it by a multi-pronged approach. Policies, guardrails, and building up our workforce. Thank you.
Patricia Brinkley for SD1. I'm not a vet. However, both my parents are vets and my younger brother. I had the opportunity and honor of being my father's primary healthcare directive during his last portion of his life. And we did have issues with him, even though he went to the VA hospital. He did have issues once he had to be in long-term treatment. Trying to find the proper environment which had the amount of personnel to provide services to him was a daunting task. And so I believe that we should have stricter restrictions, regulations for these private homes that are helping vets, and we should have more oversight with them.
Good Armed Forces Chamber. This question is for both of you. Have you authorized, sponsored, or co-sponsored any bills benefiting veterans? And if so, tell us about it. If not, do you plan to? Let's start with Patricia this time.
Patricia Brinkley, SD1. I have not sponsored any bills, but one of my main objectives, once elected, will be to improve the situations of vets in our community. And as such, I believe that proposing a bill that will help vets become more productive in their communities, allowing them like preferences on job applications, and giving them the resources through various educational facilities and even doing on-the-job training to help them to improve their situation economically. I will also talk to the vets, a group of vets, to find out what their issues are that I can help, so that I can help improve their situation through the legislative process. Thank you.
Hi, Shelly Cruz Crawford. Thank you for the question, Joaquin, correct? So I am not a legislator, but I have worked in legislation for the past decade. My doctorate is in organizational leadership with a focus on equity policy. And so I have worked, bridging those gaps in workforce development, not specifically targeting veterans. But I have, as a regent, worked closely with the veteran resource centers at our universities. I just ended up touring TMCC's Veteran Resource Center that just got, I believe, a $250,000 grant. And those facilities are very important because veterans come into school and they need, it's different than when they were trained in the military, and they need to feel safe, and everyone in there understands what they're going through and connects them with either tutoring, coursework, professor help, and just resources, or just a safe space. So I have worked in that area. My time is up. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. So my name is Kylie Tuckett, Veterans in Politics. I moved to District 1 in May of 2023, and since then I've seen an influx of homelessness in and around the community. Why do you think this is an issue, and how do you plan to address the issue? We go with Michelle first.
Shelly Cruz Crawford. Thank you, Kyle. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So actually, I'm in the Nevada National Guard, and we are working on, in northern Nevada, helping those get connected to resources. So also have worked with Clark County on that. There are several issues why veterans become unhoused or homeless, and it's really because of, it could be mental health issues, substance abuse, PTSD. And so again, we need to connect them to resources, but I think we do a bad job waiting until there's a problem. And so proactively, we need to, connect our veterans with resources before they get to that point. We need to have better exit interviews when our veterans leave, and connect them, stabilize them before they leave the military. And I actually teach a course on resiliency for the Nevada National Guard, Army, Air, and Police Force called Purple Resolve that helps them navigate those challenges of being a vet. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the question, Patricia Brinkley, SD1. The homeless issue is multifaceted. There are the issues about affordable housing in our community, which we just heard about the level of the economic level of a lot of veterans in our community, and so they are unable to afford the homes that are currently available for renting. And again, they also have, a lot of them have mental health issues which need to be addressed, and they may be they may be estranged from their families. So there are many different issues that must be addressed in order to correct this homeless situation with our veterans. However, we need to put a focus on this because they did serve our country, and we need to make sure that they receive the services and benefits that they are entitled to enjoy a quality of life that they deserve. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Barbara, representing Veterans in Politics. I'd like to address some of the safeties in schools. You know, there's obviously a big issue going on with that. What are your plans to ensure any sort of safety, collaborative safety security that we can come up with? Patricia, we'll start with you.
Patricia Brinkley, SD1. Yes, that is one of my number one platforms, the educational system in our community. And there are options available to us right now that the school system is not really exploring. First of all, we have an issue of truancy, and they need to do something to make sure that the children are not truant from school. How can they learn if they're not there all the time and consistently? And that leads also into absenteeism, which is extremely high in our school community. And when you're absent and truant, you can't learn anything. You can't retain any information. In addition, it is disruptive to the classroom. So I believe that we have policies that we can that are already on the book that we just need to enforce, and we will see an improvement in our school system.
Shelly Cruz Crawford. I actually am working on something with this right now, and it's actually from a group of military vets. When we go into war zones, we have quadrants, right? So we know exactly where to go. And for school safety specifically, a fix for every single public school in the state of Nevada costs about $2 million to basically update our maps. The problem is right now when we push our emergency buttons, it says room 52. If emergency personnel is going into the building, they don't know where room 52 is, but they know where quadrant A1 is. And so in order to update our maps, both digitally, for our fire, paramedics, and police officers, this group of veterans have already done this in multiple states, and I kid you not, it is about $2 to $3 million to do this for every public school. Not passing policy for that. Instead, I connected them to the Nevada Department of Education, trying to utilize those funds that we already have dedicated for this. So I am working closely on connecting to resources, and actually connected them to UNLV, our chief of police too, because of the issue. So I look forward to this work.
Good morning. My name is Steve Horner, and my question is about suicide. Suicide among veterans continues to rise. What programs and ideas can you come up with as a legislator to help curb suicide and to make sure that it is fully funded?
So we do have a suicide program that was funded by the state of Nevada a few years ago. I think we got like $300,000 that paid for all of our current service members and their spouses and veterans. It's called Purple Resolve, which I referenced earlier. It's basically of training that happens over several days that really is supposed to be continued on within units. That really it sounds different than what we're trained in the military, but it talks about vulnerability. And part of the problem is that as vets, as military personnel, we're trained to have our military bearing, but we're not trained to ask for help, and we're not trained to reach out to each other. So this is really a training that changes the culture that has created suicide patterns. And so I'm so happy to be a facilitator for this course. I am so happy to be a safe space, and I hope to continue funding this program.
I have a degree. I have my BA degree in psychology from UC Berkeley California. And at that time, I was working through a suicide hotline. I believe what we need to do with the veterans is, again, they are not connected to a lot of resources. And my policy would be to have something available that we can share with all different veteran organizations, letting people know that there is help for veterans who are contemplating suicide. And we should be able, the people that run the various veterans organizations should be able to make a minimum assessment when someone comes to them and is displaying certain side, that we should be referring them to resources to help them so that we can avoid the increase in suicides with the veterans. Thank you.
And Barbara Dreyer, again representing Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Family Caucus. A two-part question for you guys. I taught in behavior school that was subsequently closed by CCSD. So I'm wondering, what are your ideas for improving effective discipline in our schools? And the second part is just, what is the significance of April in regards to the military family?
As far as can you repeat the first part of the question? It has the discipline, that was the issue? Okay. As I indicated before, there are policies and rules on the books already. We need to remove disruptive children from the classroom. They, in turn, diminish the learning of the other students that are in the classroom. And what we can do is have them, if they continue to be disruptive, what we can do is put them on independent study. And that way they will be removed from the classroom and they will still be studying their coursework, but they won't be interrupting the learning of the other children that are there that want to learn. And again, we need to also look and see whether these children that are being disruptive are, if they're using drugs, we need to help get them assistance. And we need to talk to the parents. The parents need to be involved in their children's education. And without the parent's role in that educational process, we see what's happening with these students.
Shelly Cruz Crawford. Hi, Barbara. I read your book. I don't know if you remember, I met you at the Veteran Resource Center in North Las Vegas. I could nerd out about this all day long. I will tell you what I'm doing at my school because I don't have behavior disruptions at my school. We have not had them in years. We need to scale this at the state level. The first thing that we do is we go, before school starts on the staff development days, all of our teachers go to the homes of the students and provide resources, signing them up for Safe Key, food resources, stabilization. When students come to school taken care of, they are less disruptive. We take care, we do resources such as get them a licensed therapist if they have behavioral issues. We have a wraparound service team and we provide multi-tiered systems of support. At the very inclination of one minor problem or chronic absenteeism, we meet as a team every other week to identify what we can wrap around services for those students. My concern about removing students is, do they have an appropriate place to learn? And if they do, I would support that. My concern is if they don't, we are going to deal with them tenfold when they're adults. And so we need to make sure that we're being very strategic in our planning because every human deserves the right to education. In regard to military service member month, did I already run out of time? We have Purple Star Schools for the state of Nevada. This is a state grant designation that basically has a school put in a support system for military families. And I also testified in support of Erica Mosca, Assemblywoman Mosca's bill that allows military families that are transient the availability to register at schools at any time of the year. And that's including magnet schools. So thank you.
I'm very sorry. I have a question for the
Hey,
Why should veterans' daughters have to compete with boys? Why should veterans' daughters have to compete with boys?
What did I tell you?
Assembly
What
Bill
did I tell you?
423.
What did I tell you?
I'm very sorry. Has to
Out
be
of the
asked.
building.
Sorry.
Is that your friend?
Yeah. See, there you go, Shelly.
Sorry. I'm also a comedian. I'm also a comedian.
That's awesome.
Mikey Kelly, Chair of Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus. My question is kind of a follow-up to Matthew DeFalco's. The Nevada Department of Veterans Services is under a state investigation because of the treatment of its employees. There's been accusations of racism and sexual discrimination against women employees and employees of color across the state. For years, there's been an issue of governance at the Nevada Department of Veterans Services. I recognize that the legislature is a part-time legislature that's overseeing a full-time executive branch, but there's still no excuse for the behaviors that occurred at NDVS to have occurred, even after complaints were made to legislators. My question to both of you is, are you going to hold the executive branch accountable when they are not doing the right thing and not giving lip service to these veterans that are first of all serving with the state, as well as agencies that are in service to veterans in our community?
I always like a Mikey Kelly question. It always seems like, like a little fire behind it. So I don't know about that specific instance. That sounds horrific, though I'm not surprised because that happens in every space that I've ever worked in. And so I just think about the work that I do as an equal opportunity officer for the state and how could we scale or emulate that. My job is to go into two to 4 units a month and interview one-on-one people from all ranks to see if they're being discriminated based on their race, gender, ethnicity. And then what I do is I compile that report and provide recommendations to share with that commanding officer. This is what's really happening in your unit, and this is and it's noticed, right? And it's in a document. And if we could scale some sort of support like that, it's extremely effective. So I would recommend that. I'm also working for chief diversity officers on each campus. So I think that could be something that also could be monitored through. Thank you.
What you were talking about is truly an unacceptable behavior in the workforce. So what we should do is, like we've done in other areas, is in their workplace, they should be made aware that if they experience any of these type of situations, that there is someone that they can come and talk to, and that it would be anonymous, and their job would not be on the line for reporting incidents that they felt uncomfortable with. There's no reason why in a workplace anyone should feel that they're being discriminated against due to race, gender, religion, etc., etc. So I would make sure that in these facilities that the employees were made aware that they can contact someone to express their concerns, and then make sure that they're followed up on, and having a panel of a panel come and interview the employer and the employees, and just walk through there and just see what's going on in that particular environment.
All right. That's the end of these questions, and I thank you both, Ms. Brinkley and Ms. Crawford, for being here. Let me also thank our sponsors, and that's the Foreign Exchange. Number 2 is Stephanie Phillips, the U.S. Senate candidate. Carl Catarata, Clark County School District A. Was that the last? That's the last? There you go, Barbie's good. I just had one. Thank you so much. And Ron Quince, U.S. Congressional District 1 candidate. Also, please do not forget about our silent auction, and that includes our endorsement interview for Senate District 1. Thank you so much, ladies. Appreciate it. And thank the panel. Anything else?
Can I do mine? Because I have to run.
No, you guys are fine. Just it's the first interview. There's always some
Okay.
hiccups. We're
Yeah.
fine. Each candidate,
Okay.
a minute, just like how people can get involved in your campaign, why exactly you want our endorsement, just whatever you basically want to say for a minute. You're good.
Okay, Shelly Cruz Crawford, I want to thank you for having me today. Honestly, I was like, I don't know, they just endorsed Republicans, so I want to applaud you all for expanding to Democrat veterans. I think it's representative of our community to have, so I want to applaud you for that. My name is Shelly Cruz Crawford. I'm running for Senate District 1. I am doing this work because I am a fierce advocate for every single person in our community, regardless of background. I want every citizen to be able to thrive in our community. And I plan to do that by creating opportunities through legislation. And I just want to thank you, and I want to thank also my opponent as well. Thank you.
What's your website?
Oh, yes, how you can get involved. Shelly for Nevada, it's FOR, Shelly for Nevada, and .com, and you can contact me. I need door knockers. That's what I need. I need door knockers. So if you believe in the vision, come knock some doors, lose some LBs, have a healthy lifestyle. You drink later.
Thank you again. My name is Patricia Brinkley. I'm running for SD1. I just entered my 30th year of practicing law, and throughout my professional career, my focus has been on the family. As you know, the family has been decimated for over a couple of decades. And through before I became an attorney, I worked for social services, and my focus was making sure that the family had the resources and the services available to them. As an attorney, I continue to do that to maintain the family, the nuclear family, through a variety of different services that people reached out to me to help provide for them, from adoption, guardianships, through doing their estate plan, and making sure that their elderly family members were conserved when necessary. So if you my belief is that the family is the core of our whole community, of our society, and you can reach me at electpatriciabrinkley.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much.